Hi, I'm Stephanie Silverman, one of the owners and founders of Your Teen Media. Our college workshop series is brought to you by Ohio's 529 plan, College Advantage. This program is all about saving for college because they care so much about your child's future. Ohio's 529 plan, College Advantage, is an excellent partner to Your Teen Media.
Hi, Sue Borison here from Your Teen Media. I'm here today with Scott Jaschik, editor of Inside Higher Ed, and we're going to be talking to parents of seniors who are college bound. In these uncertain times, we are both going to let you know right now that whatever we say today could be different tomorrow. But Scott's going to put on his predictive hat and tell us to the best of his ability what he sees happening. So our first question for Scott is that if you're a parent of a senior right now, you are sitting with as much uncertainty as your senior is. Generally, what do you want to tell parents right now?
So the main thing is to not be afraid to ask for help. And that can mean money. Usually it means money. And a lot of parents are probably thinking, well, the deadline for applying for aid was way back months ago, and I didn't apply, or I applied with out of date information because I've been laid off or I lost a job. Um, there are systems in place that allow you to apply for more aid. Now, it's true, most of the colleges probably won't have enough, but you've got to ask to get. And if you don't ask, you're not going to get extra help. So that's the biggest change in all is to ask now.
Okay, that's fascinating because I think most parents would think it's too late. So that's great information. But the other thing is it okay for the parent to call? And, in this world of trying to get our kids to do things, parents are typically the ones paying for college. If they call the financial aid office themselves, is that okay?
Yes, it's okay. I mean, look, the financial aid offices are dealing with as much craziness as parents are. And they would appreciate somebody calling, explaining the financial situation, and explaining exactly how much money there is. Parents can call.
Okay, so right now, I think decision dates are kind of up in the air for some schools, right? Like they're extending it and some aren't.
Right.
What is a kid to do who has an early decision for one college and a later decision for another college? How are they handling that?
So they should again call and ask. Some colleges have delayed the typical date, which is May 1st to June 1st. Many more colleges are being pressured to change the date. Other colleges will change the date for if you call and ask for it. But it's just a matter of asking. If you don't have multiple colleges giving you an extension, you need to make the decision you can on May 1st. But you should ask.
So a college might give one person who calls an extension that other kids don't get.
Yeah, I mean the advantage is asking. Now they might not. I mean they don't have to do it, but you've got to ask to get. And at this point, remember, the people doing the asking are the people that the colleges have let in. So the colleges have already decided so and so is worth admitting.
Is there anything unethical about putting down two deposits? If you can afford to do it, can you put the May down for one school and then hold out and possibly put a second one down?
Many colleges would say that is unethical. You are supposed to put down one deposit. This year is obviously a very tricky year, and many people are dealing with difficult situations, but I can't recommend that you put down two deposits. But there's a whole month between now and May 1st. You can ask lots of questions.
And if you put the deposit down on May 1st and you change your mind, have you made a binding commitment? Can you lose the deposit and say that you have decided to go elsewhere?
Yes, but it's even in this tricky year, it's debatable how ethical that is. But you can, call and explain it to the college. Maybe they'll be okay with it. But a college can only approve something that you've asked them to do.
On to financial aid offers. So some people have them already.
Yes, I mean, colleges have generally admitted the students they're going to admit. Most of the admissions decisions were made before Corona, and now and those are accompanied by financial aid offers. But most financial aid offers are based on out of date financial information.
So if your situation has gone down, that's when you're going to call up and say, my information is no longer current.
Right, right.
But then there's the other side. You know, there a lot of these colleges and universities are struggling themselves during this difficult
Yes.
time. So the offer that you were given, is it guaranteed to continue? I mean, are you, once you have the offer, are you guaranteed that offer, or can a school end up saying, we can't afford this?
You need to read every word in an offer. Most are guaranteed, but I would not. I would read every word. The bigger problem is going to be students whose financial situation has worsened since the deadline may or may not get extra help from the college.
And how would you find out if the school front loaded, which means that they gave you the bulk of the aid in the first year or two, and then you're kind of on your own later? How would a parent know that?
It should be explained in the aid letter.
So someone has to really sift through it, which might be
Yes,
hard for some people to really.
it might well be hard. And if you're not sure, call and ask.
Hmm.
Colleges have to answer your questions. And that's, the very important lesson of this time is you've got to call and ask.
So I'm a parent now. I'm not so comfortable reading what looks like contract language. I call up the financial aid office. What are the things that stump kids the most and parents the most? So one is the idea that it's front loaded, meaning you get
Yes.
more and the first part of the education than you do later on. What are the other kinds of things that happen that a parent should be asking about?
I mean, everything in the aid letter should be viewed as potentially you're not going to understand it. So you need to call and say, I need to understand, I'm going to get X amount in year one, Y amount in year two, Z in year three, A in year four. And you need to go through it with the details so that you're sure you understand it.
And someone in the financial aid office will take the time to walk you through the offer.
Yes, or the admissions office.
Okay, that's great. Waitlist, what is that going to look like this year?
This year, it's going to be a mess. Wait lists have been unpopular for a long time because many colleges put way more students on a wait list than they can possibly be admitted. But this year, they may admit more. I don't know what's going to happen with yields. But waitlist isn't a guarantee. It's not a sure thing to get financial aid on the wait list. So I would just be very careful.
Do you think there's the possibility that because of uncertainty, kids are going to change their minds about decisions they've made? They might want to be closer to home.
Yeah.
There might be worry about financially being capable of paying for something they used to be. So
Well, yeah, those or someone gets sick in their family. There are lots of reasons why.
yeah.
And the thing that they should do is one, I would try to make a decision by May 1st or June 1st if you have the offers. But at any date, you can call the college. Now, the colleges are going to be most, in some ways, and a very highly selective college is easier. They have more money. They have more money to give out, but they don't fear for students coming to them. The less selective colleges are most worried. They really will do what they can to help, but they may not have as much money to help.
Colleges are going to go out of business.
Some will, yes.
So how should parents address like the worry of the financial stability of the college? Like, where do you even start figuring that one out?
So one, come on our website. We write about this stuff. I mean, a college went under on Friday.
Which college went under on Friday?
McMurray. So, most of the colleges that are really in danger of going under don't have a lot of students. So probably your student isn't applying there. But Google your college, find out what the situation is. There's going to be a greater problem, I think, with colleges just not having quite enough money than colleges actually closing.
What's your URL so you can tell people where to go to get more
It's
information?
InsideHigherEd.com.
And do you have any information there about how to determine the financial health of a college?
We have a lot, yeah.
If you're just going to give one tip right now, where should a parent, obviously they can come to your website, but what should a parent do first just to start assessing whether
Yes.
they think that university or college is going to be healthy?
Most colleges are not going to be maybe healthy, but aren't going to go under. So if you think your student is applying to a college that might go under, you should Google it and come to our site and look at it, at the information. You'll see if there are local news articles about the college being in bad shape.
So it won't go from nothing to
Yes,
to
yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good starting point. Now, the second piece of it, which you said, is that some schools, most schools will survive this, but they may not have enough money.
Yes.
So then what does that mean for my kid's education?
Well, I mean, that can mean a lot of things. It can mean that that the kid may not get as good an education as they would have otherwise. Class sizes increase, financial aid awards decrease, all kinds of things. It's really whether your student is a top student going to the most competitive colleges or is not. And there are all kinds of things you can do, but it does require an honest analysis of your student and where he or she is.
I need a little more information on that.
Well, I mean, look, if your student was straight A student, or was your student a C plus student? If your student was a C plus student, God bless them, but doesn't have as many options.
So you're saying that the world might get smaller for the less competitive student, and they may end up in one of these situations where the academics just weren't what you'd hope they would be.
They might, or they might go to community college where they could learn great things and get ahead. So, it's just a matter of knowing what the choices are.
Okay, so in that scenario, you can even go like 2 years to the local college.
Yes, and then transfer. And you can go to community college for 1 semester and transfer. It's a very good option for people who are not sure what they want to do, or people who, because of coronavirus, maybe have a parent who's sick or a parent who just lost a job. Community colleges are a great option.
Okay, so this is a good segue to the next question. Can anyone defer?
Yes, you are usually allowed to defer for a year, but you need to read the offer very carefully and see what's in the offer letter.
Would there be a possibility, like let's say that the school is inundated with requests for deferral. Would there be the possibility that they would say, you can't all defer because we won't have a class next year?
Not realistically. If there's a deferral offer in the offer letter, you can defer.
Okay, and do you have any sense of what kids might opt into if circumstances were so in turmoil for like their family or whatever else? What things are kids going to opt into if they were to postpone that year?
So if they postpone, well, one is the community college option that we talked to. Another issue is going to colleges close to home. This has made many students more interested in colleges close to home. And those can both be good options for students, or to work and then defer for a year. There are all kinds of options that students have.
That's great. Now, everybody's trying to go online right now. Some colleges were doing it before. That was part of their existence beforehand. Most colleges are jumping on something that, they might be late to the game, but they've got to do it very quickly.
Right.
Do you envision that the colleges who are late to the game will continue down that path, and most schools will have a component that's online learning?
You mean in the fall?
In general, like
in general, most of them do. The big thing that happened just now was that colleges rushed online with professors and students who weren't expecting to be online. It's different to teach an online course and an in-person course. And these professors had 3 days to learn. So they're going to get better at it, but that's just the reality.
So do you think that will be a path that most schools will continue?
Yes, I think most schools desperately want the fall to be normal and just don't know if it will be.
So do parents and kids. We
Yes.
all want that. Okay, so in this landscape right now, what do you think kids should actually worry about?
So right now, if you're a student, you probably know which colleges have accepted you. If you have differed financial situation, you need to call right away. Call all the colleges right away. Have them working on your situation. Then you need to figure out where you want to go. And the world is a very different place. In just a matter of weeks, it has become so different. That's going to continue. And so you just need to figure it out. And it's very hard, but there are a lot of people at the colleges who will help.
Great. Now, what should parents worry about?
Well, parents obviously need to worry about paying for it. And so if a parent lost a job or is fearful of losing a job, they need to be very realistic with a college about what they're expecting. Or they may need to tell the student, you know what, go to a community college for a year or 2 years. Parents, I can't give overall overall advice to parents because they're waiting in the same way that others are, and their situations are so different. But they need to be honest with their children about the realities.
Okay, so that's a lot of information to take in a short amount of time, and all of it is a little depressing and overwhelming. Can you close this up with something optimistic for us?
Sure. Well, look, in the past few weeks, every college in America has brought its classes online. And that involved a tremendous effort and tremendous work by the professors because they care about your students. That's a tremendously optimistic thing to think about.
Well, thank you so much, Scott Jaschik, editor of Inside Higher Ed. And once again, tell us your website so people go check it out.
It's insidehighered.com.
Great, thanks so much.
Thank you.